I'm good. I am excited. This is number 3 for us. Number three.
Number 3.
All right, my man. Well, we haven't talked baseball at all. So I thought with the World Series, Rangers taking it home, why don't we talk a little bit about how many people watched the World Series? I know I did not. And so I thought that, well, if I didn't watch it, well, how many other people watched it? How many other people didn't watch it? Did you watch the Rangers win the World Series?
I did not watch a single inning of
Okay.
the World
Well, I don't feel bad then. And it turns out we were not alone. We actually, it actually was a trend. So viewership for this 2023 World Series was the least watched on record. So the 5-game series won by the Texas Rangers averaged 9.11 million viewers on Fox. So, again, we all kind of knew this was coming with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. It's not like you're talking about the 2 biggest fan bases, but I do think this should scream, red flag if you are MLB. Like, in my humble opinion, this is kind of a trend that's been, we've been seeing in terms of falling ratings for MLB, and we saw them try new things this year with the pitch, the pitch clock and the bigger bases, and hoping to, get more stolen bases. So they're trying, but I think this is a perfect example of the fact that people just aren't watching. And I'm curious, my friend, because I know how I feel. Why do you think we can't get folks to watch baseball?
So you made a lot of good points there. At one point, though, everybody, even in the NBA, even in football, I guess football there's a little bit more parity, but if it's not a top team like an LA versus New York, or you have a Texas versus another large market team, it doesn't seem to pull in like crazy. But what I spoke and I've kind of come to see is that the way baseball has capitalized on a losing effort of not having people watch, there are still 70 million people that go to MLB stadiums each and every year. And they have tried to market more so to that live event where I don't think they really care too much about somebody on TV anymore. Because they're getting 70 million fans, they're trying to speed up the game as quick as possible there and keep live sports special as live sports.
Look, I think they've done a good job of speeding up the game and making it more palatable if you are in the ballpark. And as a consumer, if you want to take your family to a game, it is still the least expensive. It is an expensive trip if you're trying to take your kid or your family to a game. If you want to go to an NFL game or an NBA game, at least a baseball game, you can get a couple cheap tickets, get a couple hot dogs. At least that's a good experience. But when you're playing 162 games, you're not going to be able to go see all of them. And the TV rights are expensive. And we can talk a little bit about the problems that they're having with the local sports rights in Diamond Sports Group that declared Chapter 11. And now your MLB, what they want to do is have their own kind of sports network that they can utilize, which I don't know how Yes is going to feel about that, or here in LA, the Dodgers have their own their own situation with Spectrum, and I know some of the other bigger markets have their own situation. So I think that you have an issue here with MLB where, for me personally, it's a lack of personality. And until you solve that situation, I don't care what you do to the game itself. Because when you look at the fact that Ohtani is the biggest star from a social media level, right? So the biggest star that people care about outside the ballpark, 5.8 million followers on Instagram, right?
That's nothing. That's in
nothing.
The grand scheme of things, for a guy that's making that much money, nothing. Right.
Well, you're talking about one of the greatest baseball players in history, right? both sides, right? Can pitch, can hit, can do it all, right? LeBron James, 158 million followers on Instagram, right? Okay. Number two in baseball, Mike Trout, again, one of the great power hitters in the game, 2.2 million followers on Instagram.
He loves talking about the weather.
Dude, the most boring guy you will ever meet. He is like as exciting as a piece of white toast. That is Mike Trout. Now, look, there are people watching who may be saying, guys, who cares about Instagram? Like, they can play ball. That's all that matters. Wins, losses, home runs, hits, strikeouts. But where I kind of feel like this is important, and even Aaron Judge at 1.6 million Instagram followers, you're talking about in New York, right? He's in freaking New York. He's a Yankee, right? Is that the game now transcends just what happens on the field, right? Like, you have to have shoe deals. You have to be able to attract fans on social media so that then they want to watch what happens on the court, on the field, on the at Wimbledon if you're a tennis player. You can't just get the job done and then walk away. And I know that for some people like Mike Trout, that may be uncomfortable, but you're Steph Curry, he's out producing documentaries and TV shows, right? Dwayne Wade was the same way. LeBron he's creating a school, right? As a philanthropist, and he's got a production company. I'm not saying that MLB guys have to go all out, but I mean, they're clearly not engaging with fans when they're not hitting balls. And I get it. 162 games, they're exhausted. But if they really want fans to watch, in my humble opinion, it's got to be on social media. They got to up their game, and in a big way. They really have got to revolutionize the way these guys market themselves, market the game of baseball, and really engage with their fan base. What do you think?
No, the social media world, nobody ever looks and like, oh, did you see that tweet by that guy on the Braves or anything? The Braves actually at one point have a little bit of excitement to them. They when these teams come together, they do their rallies and stuff like that. That's exciting, but there's nothing that's pulling them outside of baseball. I think that there needs to be an optimal shift of the amount of games does create that exhaustion. We don't. We see opening day, and then we say, "All right, we'll see you in October."
It's true. It's true.
There's all this time in between where you want to go to a summer day game. That's incredible. But there needs to. My actual thought and idea is you shorten the season, you bring it down to about 120 games. That's still plenty of games. Now that may ruin the record books. That may cause an issue, but you do maybe a mid-season tournament, you do something along those lines that just gets the news cycle out there, because social media doesn't care. There is a level of just seeing a home run and you're like, okay. But what they did do right was when the Phillies were in when they were in the World Series and they hit those bombs and everybody's in the crowd singing the songs together, that was excitement. That was playoff baseball. You can't have that for a sport once a year. You need to have those moments all the time.
I feel you, man. And I'll be honest with you, like, I love playoff baseball. Love it. And when they had the shortened season because of the pandemic, right? I got all into the Dodgers. I did. Like, I mean, they went on that tear and they ended up winning the World Series. I got all into the Dodgers. I think it's not like there aren't talented guys out there and you can't get into it, specifically in the playoffs when they all grow the beards and the hair gets long and it does get intense and it is fun to watch. But you're right. The dog days of summer when who cares, wins and losses. And it's just like, okay, wake me up in 3 months when it's September and we're trying to figure out who makes the playoffs. I think that's kind of where it gets into an issue. And, look, I'm a little older than you, but, I kind of, anybody kind of my age will never forget the steroid era. And again, I don't want to kind of go back to that, but I'm not going to advocate that. But the home run chase the home run chase, McGuire and Sosa. There were things that kind of made the game. There were storylines, I guess, is a better way to look at it.
Yeah, building
Matt.
up.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, that's another way. Heroes and villains. How's that? And we do kind of lack that right now. I feel like the Astros. Everybody kind of lives to hate the Astros, but I do think we could use some heroes and villains. I think that would help. Some guys, even when the Yankees with Jeter and that gang, they were crushing it. Everybody kind of united to hate the Yankees, unless you were in New York, of course, and you were a big Yankee fan. And I wonder if we're kind of missing that,
Yeah, in all relativity too, it's like 8.5 million is still a lot of people watching these games. But if you look at the Super Bowl, it's over 140 million.
over 100 million. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, and comparatively, you bring that up, you bring up football. This one kind of shocked me, as in comparison, that the Jets and the Eagles, a Jets game, Jets and Eagles got 26 million people this season. Okay, one game, regular season.
Crazy.
So NFL ratings are up 6%. So it's not like, folks aren't watching sports. NFL ratings are killing it. I just think if Major League Baseball wants to find the younger viewers, which they have to, they can't rely on my dad to keep watching Reds games. Sorry.
It's not a good track record. I mean, you're always going to have those fans. You've set that up, but how do you get the new person involved? One thing I do question though is maybe a little bit of a sound or like a language barrier that we have there, because there are a lot of people from South America that speak Spanish.
Latin America. Yeah, Latin America, Central America.
And so there might be a disassociative moment there where these players don't feel like they can speak up, or maybe in these other countries it is a bigger presence, but we don't see that, being a primarily English speaking country. It's interesting.
That is a great point. And that's actually a good transition, my friend. Foreign language speakers, because we're going to talk about another foreign language speaker, talking about Luka, okay, with the Mavs and the NBA. We're so early in the season. I know we're 2 weeks in. All right. But, I'm always one to admit if I'm wrong, and I have been a Mavs hater. I'm a Luka fan, but I have been a Mavs hater, saying that the Kyrie decision was terrible, but they are off to a hot start. Luka looks great. Kyrie's doing his part, and the team, they're off to a great, I think they're 6-1. And, I find them to be the biggest surprise for me thus far in the season. I really like the way they're playing. Luka looks better than ever. And, I think they're in first place in their division. I think maybe this is the Mavs' year to make a run in the West, although we all know there's the Nuggets, who are just, the immovable object out there. But I'm really impressed with the way the Mavs are playing so far. For you, Carter, what's been the biggest surprise that you've seen in the NBA thus far in the season?
So I'm going to say Wemby to start it off, but I'm going to circle back just for a minute. So you have the Dallas Mavericks. They are riding the high from the Texas Rangers. I always think that whenever another team wins a championship, the other sports, they start lifting up. They start having expectations. They got to get to that level. They got to perform. And so they're hitting their stride right now. So I could see it. I could see it coming full circle. And have you heard anything from Kyrie in the news? It's really quiet right now. I don't know what's happening. Let's hopefully keep them quiet, because they will keep playing well if they can just keep this tandem going well together.
It's a good point. He has been mum. His social media is very basic. It's very simple. No crazy
no documentaries.
No, nothing. So, the world is round at this point. So, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just if Kyrie kind of is focused on the game, then maybe they've got a chance. I mean,
They're
You
in
know,
his money, I bet. I bet they said, hey, if there's any more talk about this, that contract is out the window.
well, I mean, I think it's interesting because I was just before we hopped on here, I was just looking at who's healthy, who's not. Anthony Davis is already out for the first time this season, and Luca had some issues last year, and I really do think that they've got to make sure. You know, we've both talked about how much we hate load management, but Luca has got to stay healthy. And I think it. Yeah, I really do think if they can, when he starts to play those 44, 46 minute games, he's not the type of player. He's a big guy, and they've got to be careful with how they use him. If he can stay healthy and Kyrie can stay out of trouble, I think this is a team that can really make a run at Denver. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I really am. I'm shocked at myself here.
Stevie hot takes right here.
I'm like, yeah, I cannot believe it. I'm flabbergasted that it's even coming out of my mouth. Yeah.
Well, speaking
But,
of big guys, it's got to be Wemby, the biggest guy in the NBA right now. 7'4". I still can't even fathom what that's what that's like having to go through a door. I feel bad for the door. Um, and okay, he's averaging 19 points a game and 8 rebounds. That, as a rookie coming in, yes, he had prior pro performance playing in France, but it's different. It's the NBA. You're coming in and you have a target on your back. Everybody wants
mhm.
to prove time and time again that he is actually not that good or he
Yeah.
isn't the guy. And he has shown time and time again that he is starting to play and be that guy. So, first off, 3-4 record. They were 22-60 last year. So at this pace, they would win 35 games. That's a 15 game improvement from one player. Now he's got to get stronger, he could get injured,
Mhm.
and he is the only guy that's being shown up on the court, but he should just be getting better too. He should be growing. He should be getting more looks and understanding the NBA more. And so I don't really see a retraction. Maybe a sophomore slump because they figure him out. But the man is playing out of his mind, and it's good for the NBA. Your
Uh,
thoughts?
it it's great for the NBA, and I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm very surprised at how smooth his game is. It doesn't have that kind of, if you remember what Kobe was like his rookie season, it was not nearly this kind of smooth transition into the NBA. There was rushed shots. He
He's too
wasn't,
young.
he didn't just, I mean, he was super young. I mean, Kobe did not look like the guy who just, he wasn't the confident kind of
Yeah.
authoritative player that we all kind of know grew to love,
He's on the
or
cover
hate.
of ESPN every single night.
Yeah.
Like he's
Um,
he's
I'm
doing
just,
the LeBron thing.
I'm so impressed with how confident that this guy can just chuck up a three. He can go to the lane. He has amazing passing skills, just like without this sort of second thought. I mean, I remember, again, I'm dating myself, but I used to shoot college, high school, and then got to shoot one of LeBron's very first games when he was a
No way.
rookie. And this is what I very much remember was how natural LeBron was. That it was just effortless. And that's how Wemby looks. It's like the game is effortless and it's like his world, everybody else is kind of just living in it. And that is what amazes me so much is it's been a long time since I've seen anybody move around the floor and pass the ball so effortlessly. Yeah, 19-8. I don't know, man.
It's cool to
As
watch.
long as as long as he stays healthy, he's scary good.
Yeah, if anything, like he could injure himself and be gone in a minute, but it's a cool experiment and it's a cool experience to see this happening. So I think that's a great third live take. Steve. Like,
All
appreciate
right,
it.
so everybody, what do you think? What's the biggest surprise of the NBA so far this year?